So my dad bought it originally in '73. Part of my childhood. Lived in this truck. I learned how to drive in this truck. What I want to do is I wanted to continue to pay homage to that era, you know what I mean, as far as the design of the truck. And so the guys at the shop, and Jason, they did that. My dad bought it originally in '73. A year after I was born, he was driving by the dealer and saw it on the lot. It was like that orange color, he said, just popped on the lot. He's like, I gotta have that truck. 2,500 bucks later,
wow,
he had the truck, yeah. So the inception of the truck, to be very, very short with it, is it's a child, part of my childhood. Lived in this truck. My brother and I destroyed this truck. I learned how to drive in this truck with a 3-speed transmission. Today, that's probably an anomaly. There's no kid out there at 16 years old would probably know how to drive a 3 on the tree. So what I want to do is I wanted to continue to pay homage to that era, you know what I mean, as far as the design of the truck and keep its integrity and the lines and just the beauty of automobiles that came out during that time. Because unfortunately, today, when cars are made, everything's plastic, everything looks the same. And I think Jeremy said this before in one of the videos, is that everything looks like a jelly bean, everything's painted, everything looks the same. You can't really tell the years between it. But with these trucks, there's always little hints of the different years and how you can tell the different years in these trucks. And so that's what I want to keep. I want to keep that 73 look and kind of bring it to the 2025 era, you know what I mean? And so my dad, for 40 years, was an auto body guy. He owned his own shop. Unfortunately, he had to get out of it for health reasons, and he really couldn't see this thing through. And so I know he really wanted to paint it and just finish it after some of the stuff that was done to it, and come back and correct some mistakes that he's seen with his professional. But he just couldn't do that. And so, and the thing was, he ended up painting it, a number of years after he owned it I want to say in like 1990, he painted it all white. And so a buddy of mine, Travis, we were over and we were pulling it apart because I was looking at, kind of the newer colors, like the pastels and the grays. And we pulled off one piece of the panel in the interior and it had the original orange paint, the burnt orange. And he's like, dude, you got to go with that. So I thank him for, just the voice of reason. Like, all right, it stuck. And so now it was the journey of, and doing the research to try to find that paint code. And so I was able to do that and get the paint and the color scheme. It's incredible just how it unfolded and just, I could sit here for hours and just look at it. Even though I know what the guys did at the shop on it and kind of, what I wanted to keep on it, I hope everybody else, takes the time to look at it and go, well, wait a minute, is that actually original or was that something that was added to it, right? So it's something that you're gonna have to look at and go, scratch your head and go, is it truly an original truck? Well, yeah, somewhat it is, yeah, but there's there's some touches that were added to it, but not over the top. It still kept that classy look. And that was the whole vision of the project, was to keep that integrity. And so I snapped off some pictures and sent it to my father, and he called me, and he had a little tickle, little choked up and tickle in his throat, and he couldn't believe. Well, he could, because he knows who you guys are, but he's like, you did the right thing. You kept the beauty of the truck, and you didn't take away from that era, and you kept it timeless, and you highlighted like the beauty of the truck and kind of what that era was all about. Yeah. Authenticity, the chrome, right? Because you don't see chrome anymore on trucks.
You don't.
Everything's plastic. If I may add to that, so when I was talking to the guys, right? So the headlight bezels those are actually chrome, and those are actually OEM. Those are the original ones, and it's hard to find. And polishing guys will have a hard time doing it because it's a very pop metal. It's very thin metal, right? If you were to go buy aftermarket, it's all plastic. So if you were to go around here and you see some of these trucks and you tap on it,
oh, you can tell right away.
They're plastic. And so,
wow.
It's stuff like that where it's like, that's real hardware right there. It's just subtle things and knowing what you're looking for. So, exactly. And that was the whole objective in the build, was to not shy. Don't be afraid to stay in that moment and in that time frame, but take that time frame, right, and get creative with it with a classy approach. And so the guys at the shop and Jason, they absolutely killed it. They kept that in mind and achieved what we were looking to do.